sound of the saints roaring on these drums, and his blood bringing hope to the slums. He is the God, man, who came down in human flesh. Fashionistas, we needed help to get dressed. This Givenchy, Hermes in high fashion. Red carpet rhymes got all of the people asking. All this passion for diamonds and a bunch of bling. He ain't a pendant for real, man, he the only king. This is Jesus walks the way it should've dropped. Cause when you do a whole album, the label flops. But who cares, this is fake, don't overdose. The sound of his grace through the Holy Ghost. Lord knows I'm a renegade and a maven. My allegiance to the sun got me still praising. I'm praising, I'm praising. And his love, man, is so amazing. Amazing, amazing. Long live the king. King, 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 king. Long live the king. King, 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 king. Long live the king. King, long live. Turn up.
Tuning in with your partners, man. You know it's your partner, Dale. Does the Bible communicate Jesus is God?
What it's communicating about Christ and how he exists is so outside of our ability to grasp and comprehend.
What it do, y'all? It's your partners, man. We back in the saddle again. You know what day it is. It's Sunday. It's been a fairly busy day. My partner Jason is having some Wi-Fi issues, so we're gonna get that. We're gonna get him in the second, man. So what it do, y'all? It's your partner. We are here, and this is that Bible Talk Chop session, to where we try to lean in and reason together a little bit more. And as we reason together, we begin to iron sharpen iron, and begin to kind of grow an understanding. This is not a platform for us to begin to debate things of that nature. For us, what this is just for us to lean in, begin to reason together, guys, and begin to grow. And we have been talking about a kingdom versus religion. And as you guys know, throughout the dialogue, religion has been kind of the platform people kind of have these discussions about. Well, me and Brother Jason wanted to actually bring a different intellect concerning this dialogue. We agree that religion has caused a lot of issues. We agree. Here he is. What's up with your family?
What up, bro?
Not much, man. As you can see, your brother Jason is on the go, and so we're gonna get it in real fast, y'all. Won't hold you long because I know he out with the family, and the wife is giving us some grace to be able to have these discussions, Jason. And so I think right now it's just going to be kind of us just talking a little bit, fam. And what I was saying is we have been continuing our discussion concerning answering this question here: does the Bible communicate a kingdom or religion? And we made our thoughts very clear last week, and also offered up the text to kind of confirm that. Me and Jason firmly believe the text communicates a kingdom, not a religion. We both also agree that religion is man-made. Jason, would you agree with that, big dog?
100%, my friend. 100%. Yes, sir.
And at the exact same time, we also believe that religion has really brought a lot of chaos into this world, a lot of confusion. It has been used to enslave and oppress. So our whole thing is this here is let's look at what the text, the Bible, when we said the text, we mean the Bible, communicates concerning what did Christ bring, and that was the kingdom. Jason, if you could, man, for a brief second, man, let's dive in a little bit real fast, answering this question to kind of recap, and then we can go forward. What message did Christ preach? Was it a kingdom or was it religion?
Um, Jesus came and said that he came here from a place, right,
Mm-hmm.
where
Mm-hmm.
where he was previously.
Mm-hmm.
Was, you know, he mentions where his father is. He mentions a location in which he came from, his father dwells, and a location in which he went back to.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
so it seems to me, Christian culture, that concept gets glossed over. It's all
Mm-hmm.
about heaven. It's all about heaven and hell, and connect the dots about this kingdom that we see about conception of the Bible till the end.
Yeah. I agree. Because if you look at Matthew 6:33, Christ said himself, seek first the kingdom. And then he said his righteousness. He did not say himself. Matter of fact, Christ, whenever he would actually perform a miracle and there was a demon there, the text says that he would tell the demons, don't tell them who I am. And so, with that being stated, that's me stating that Christ was saying, seek first this kingdom. Now, Jason, when it comes to seminary training, you've been in an environment a lot longer than I have. Uh, are there any class teaching about the kingdom?
Never,
Now, why do you think that
never,
is not at all?
man. I think it's something that's intangible that we don't got enough information on, and that we
Yeah,
stay away from,
yeah.
and also throughout the year, a religion, and we have created Christ we have taken away his dwelling place and just taken upon what Jesus would say he was preaching was the
Mm-hmm.
decrees, right? Because he makes statements like the kingdom of heaven is like that. So he's communicating to non-kingdoms like where he comes from,
Yeah,
just as if we were, you know, uh, talking to someone who had never been in America. We would sit
sure.
and we would make those correlations so that they would be able to what it's like to be an American and vice versa.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like what you're saying is what someone has not experienced, they can't understand or teach. Would that be kind of accurate to say?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
So now we have to go to what people have been exposed to. And now, guys, we get to the church in a second because we're gonna be going park there. But it seems like all we've been exposed to, Jason, is a democrat, which is the Greek word for democracy or republic. And so typically what happens in the republic, you have a three branches of government: executive branch, legislative, and judicial branch. All we've been exposed to is that type of system itself. And so my question is this here is, do you think that we kind of infuse that system into the text when it comes to reading and interpreting the text?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. We don't have any other option. You're taught how to properly think when it comes to biblical interpretation. No other option but to filter it through your current day mindset.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, point blank. It's really just that. Um, and you know, individuals coming to the text and students, once you begin to, it's one of the things that you learn is there are some that one's experience when he's reading his Bible, and one is a cultural barrier,
Mm-hmm.
also a language barrier, just a time barrier as well. So when someone is seeking to interpret the text, the goal is to be and jump into your time machine, so to speak, world of ancient, ancient Greek, and we're not just talking about Israel, we're talking about the world. Just like we live in America, but there's a broader world that makes up, but we're just in our current location. But perspective and viewpoint you're looking, you can look at a map and see a city. You go higher, you can see a state. You can see, the entire globe. So depending on what lenses you are reading, is going to determine the conclusions that you come to, and it's going to definitely dictate the applications in which apply to our lives. And we got to be careful not to make up our own applications, but scriptures to speak.
I agree 1,000%. And I wanted to go into this before we dive into that word church. And if you guys, this discussion here, you're going to want to get involved with this discussion, because we're going to pack a term church that you may have a maybe an improper definition of what that word is. But I want to revisit this, Jason, and then we can dive into that. Guys, what I want to do is I want you guys to see exactly what we kind of see is if you look at the difference between the kingdom and the democracy, they are both total opposites. They conflict by their design. Okay, let's walk through these differences real quickly. In a democracy, the people is the power is in the people. In a kingdom, the power is in one person, the king. In a democracy, you vote. In a kingdom, there is no vote. There's only one vote, and that's the king's vote. In a democracy, the people produce the law. Okay. In the kingdom, the words of the king become the law. All right. And lastly, in a democracy, people, they cherish private ownership. In a democracy, this is really one of the most biggest differences this here. You own nothing. The king owns everything. And it gives all that he owns, it gives his children access to all that he owns. And it's called commonwealth. That's what it's called. So you see two conflicting systems. But I wanted to kind of unpack that real fast, Jason. Now, let's dive into this word. Now that we understand kingdom. Now, before we go there, what is a kingdom, Jason?
Man, a kingdom is really type of rule that has a king that's tied to. There are some things that you got to have a kingdom. Right? You got to have a piece to govern over.
Yes, territory.
You have to have people, and then you have the laws that run that kingdom. Form governing system. Yeah. That is foreign. We don't operate under that type of government system. Don't operate under that government system. We don't know how to what's the word I'm looking for? Properly relate fully in our daily lives. Like big on freedom, right?
Yeah.
We're big on I have the right to do this and I have the right to do that. But if you look at the writings, they use words like bond servants.
Yes.
Right. Things like that. Why? Because in a kingdom, don't have freedom in the same way freedom. So the Bible doesn't communicate communicate freedom in the way we interpret freedom, but we will find the word free in the Bible. Understand what's going on within that passage, then we will put out on what that freedom means.
Yes.
And it definitely doesn't mean what operate in today.
I agree 1,000% with you, Jason. And I think that's where a lot of the conflict comes in the body of Christ. Is a lot of the times we operate under the premise of a democracy, and we supersede that into the text. When the text is clearly talking about a kingdom, for instance, we're called ambassadors. Well, ambassadors is a kingly term. It's a king term. That's all it is. Like you said, bond servant. That's a king. It's a kingdom term. Christ is termed as the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. That is Christ. Well, that is a kingly term. If you look at the history when it comes to kings very rarely said that much at all, because whatever they said became a law. That's why they actually had people following them around. And in the text, I think those are called Sadducees. They followed them around. Whatever the king actually said, they wrote down. So kings very rarely said anything at all. And so a king can know and not declare. That the declaration becomes a law, not the knowing comes the law. And so that is key. Now, let's graduate over to this word church. Okay, Jason, because there seems to be a issue with the definition behind the word church. Now, as the word church is disseminated throughout just humanity, what definition are people normally referring to?
When we mention the church, and today's mentioning this place that we go to and gather at, we all the time. I'm going to church. What church do you go to?
Yeah.
Church. You know.
Mm-hmm.
All the different cliches. And if we're going to deal correctly with, we have to begin to examine what the text says and say, as a people, are we conforming to the text, or are we making the text to us? And I think one of the biggest areas in which we can see that we are making the scriptures conform to us, to God's people and identity in this kingdom. Our identity has been made to be something of a religious nature, a non-kingdom mindset, so that we can make it age, right? Because if we turn Christianity into it, be free from the king's reign and operate in the governing system that
it does. So what you're saying is let me make sure I'm correct. There's power in definitions.
That's definitely power, and they got to guide the application for one's life.
Yeah. And so what? So sound like what definition? Because I've been told that it is and I've learned it's the German word that is normally proclaimed out by a lot of individuals. Would that be accurate?
Gotcha. Yeah, pull up your screen, bro. Pull up your screen so we can do some good stuff.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Where am I going to? Where am I going to?
Just go to Google. So, guys,
go to Google.
What I am about to highlight in our Bibles, when it refers it uses a word, a particular word, which is okay.
Mm-hmm.
The word that is used in the Bible when it refers to God's people is a term called ecclesia. Anytime
Okay.
you see the word church in the Bible, if you look it up, it's ecclesia.
Yeah.
And what I want to unpack today is the term church is not a word for word translation from Greek text, a word that has been replaced with substitute. The word has been studied and not translated, and this is widely known with for those who have studied and do their. It's known that the term church and the term ecclesia translate the same.
Yeah.
And I want to show a verse to
Romans. Okay. So 1 second. Let me go. Let me go to Bible Gateway. Bible Gateway. All right. So Romans 16. All right. 1
Romans
second, guy.
16, chapter 5.
Romans.
And you guys can find to make this observation.
Okay, Romans 16. Let me go ahead and make it bigger for everybody.
And
all right, here
verse
we go.
5. So
Verse 5,
Paul is giving his salutation. Paul is giving his salutation, greetings and rap. Says something that's very interesting. He says, greet also the church that meets at, right? So if we go up to 3, he said if we start at 3, and Aquila, my co-workers in Jesus Christ, they risked their lives, only I, but the churches of the Gentile, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then it says church that meets at their house.
Yeah.
If it will be honest, observe that sentence church is not being used properly.
Yeah.
He says, greet the church that meets at their house. Definition of the word church. A church is a location. So if this was properly being intended, greet the people that meet at the right. But this word church is being used to identify the people and not. And we have to begin to ask, why is that? Because the term church that we use is the improper term authors of the Bible are using, and I'm going to show you guys how this sentence makes sense if we properly the scriptures.
Okay.
So I just want an example so that when we dig into the word and we go and insert how the sentence will flow.
Yep. Yeah.
Right? So,
yes, sir. All right.
If you will go to Blue Letter Bible, the tool that we and go to
Blue Letter Bible.
Yeah, Blue Letter Bible.
Okay, we here.
And put in Romans chapter 16 and verse 5.
Romans 16:5. Okay. And let's go ahead and just gonna do this here. Boom. 1 second. This one is coming up. And all he has is boom. and retrieve. Let's go. Okay, it
Nah,
is here.
nah, go back,
Say
bro.
again.
Go back.
Okay,
Hit go up there at the top when you put it go
search the Bible.
right. Yeah, put it right there.
Okay, gotcha.
You hit, and then hit
Romans.
the green button. Go.
I can't spell today, y'all. My bad, y'all. 16. Let's see what's going on here. Boom and go. All right, we here.
At verse.
Verse 5, right here. Make it
Click
bigger for
on
you.
the verse. Click on Romans 16:5. Just click on the right there.
Okay.
You scroll down and see greet thee. You see it right there.
Uh-huh.
Church.
Mm-hmm.
It says that number is 50. If we click on that, I want you to click on it.
Click on it.
Number.
Click on. Okay. Boom. Mm-hmm.
And then it's going to give us a definition. Scroll down. It's a feminine noun.
Mm-hmm.
And just scroll down. Back up to those definitions right there we see.
Okay. Right here.
No, go up a little bit.
Ah, right here. Gotcha.
Right there. Right. Read the definition for me, bro.
It says the outline of the Bible usually says a gathering of citizens called out from their homes into some public place and assembly. It says an assembly of the people convened at the public place of the council for the purpose of deliberating. B, the assembly of the Israelites. C, any gathering or throng of men assembled by chance tumultuously. It's in Christian sense. In a Christian sense, an assembly of Christians gathered for worship in a religious meeting.
Okay.
It says
that's enough, bro. Now,
okay.
Now what I want you that builds our point, unless you just want to continue.
No, it's all good.
Now what I want you to do is, now we see that word, and I want us to go back and read that 16:5, and we're going to use the proper interpretation and see, right?
Okay, so you want me to go back to 16:5?
To the scriptures.
Okay.
On the Bible
Here we go.
Gateway.
On the Bible Gateway, gotcha.
How it flows.
Bible Gateway, I got you. Hold on, y'all. We're doing this real time, y'all. Romans 16.
And I want to
down a little bit.
This way because I don't want to do about something, but I want to show how we're coming to these conclusions.
Okay, here's Romans 16:5.
Okay, 3. What I had you look at was the term ecclesia used in verse chapter 3. It says, Greet Priscilla and Aquila and my workers in Jesus Christ. They not only I, but all of the gatherings are grateful to them.
Yeah.
So these people risk their lives for other believers, and those other believers were grateful that they risked their lives for them. Now, what I want to do, click back real fast to Blue Letter Bible.
Okay.
Now, what I want you to do is go down to
the definitions.
Yes, I want you to hit back.
Okay.
Hit the back button. I want you to, right now, you're in verse
5.
16:3 to 5 now.
Okay, so let me go back. Gotcha. So
Go
let me go
back.
back to the
Go back.
go back to
Okay.
16:3.
No,
All right.
we're done with 3. We're done with 3. I'm
So let's go back to 5. Okay, I got you.
gonna go to 5. Now we're gonna go down again.
To OS Church is right here. Ecclesia.
Same was the same. You see, it's the same word.
Same word. Same word. Same word.
Word got the same to the word house.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Go down
Mhm.
to the
House. Okay.
the house. That
Okay.
differs.
Mm-hmm.
So now I just want to make that distinction between the church, how we use it, and location, the house. We see that's 2 different Greek words.
Yes.
Without me going too deep, is go back to the Bible gateway so we can wrap up
Okay.
the point.
Okay.
So he says, Greek Priscilla and Aquila, that risked their lives for me. Not only I, but all the ecclesia of the Gentiles are grateful to them. The gathering or the people that meet. So when Paul is saying, when Paul is making his acknowledging people,
Mm-hmm.
and he made a distinction between that and the people in which he was talking to.
That's correct.
Now, why I go through all this, because the terms is a improper usage, and we conform to what we want it to,
Mm-hmm.
and that has made on how we function and operate as a culture and the ecclesia.
Yep.
How
That's correct.
we use culture, how we use right. We're going to church, right? We're going to church. Didn't go to church.
Yep. Yep.
The
The people were the church.
disciple, it didn't exist. The concept would not ring out to them.
Yeah.
You know, I talk to people all the time, and they say, "Oh, well, you know, that happened," and I say, "I believe it has major implication, and that implication, the one I think that I see that stands out most to me is that we will give reverence to the building when we're at in God. So when you go to God's house, you ain't supposed to curse. You ain't supposed to have your hat go through all these ritualistic things. But
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to dealing with our, you know, we're more lax there. We never say, "Oh, don't talk," because he is a kingdom citizen, right? But when we go to church, we say, "Hey, don't be vanity in the house of the Lord."
Mm-hmm.
See,
Mm-hmm.
and the substance have been moved from reverencing your brother and putting emphasis in which the Spirit dwells in. And
Yes.
now we've moved the Spirit back to place where God
Yes.
said doesn't dwell.
That's correct. That is correct. He's spot on that one, guys. And I'm glad he broke that down. Now, some people may say that was kind of a little bit too much, but the thing about it is, to me, that type of too much talking, guys, is what needs to be engaged in so that we can begin to understand the scriptures properly. Don't be so. I would say, be careful with being so quick to have your ears tickled that you don't want to do the hard work of looking at the Greek and the Hebrew and the Aramaic, depending on what text that you're using, to be able to come to these conclusions, which is cool, because the wrong definition, someone could be using the wrong definition behind the term that can deceive you. And the deception may not be an ill will, it could be what they've been discipled to actually communicate. And so these are the type of questions that we need to begin to kind of lean in and reason together, guys, so we can begin walking in the authority that Christ has already given to us, guys. So I thought that was a really good, Jason, diatribe on what we needed to kind of unpack a little bit, guys. Because I'll end it with this here, guys. The glory of all kingdoms is what? The goal of all kingdoms is to influence. You cannot influence if you have improper definitions behind terms. You will be enslaved, not influenced. And so that's why the scripture says your gifts will make room for you to be in the presence of kings. What does that mean? Is you beginning to walk in the authority that you already got because of Christ's death, burial, and resurrection, and your gifts, which the king has given to you, will make room for you to be the presence of those lower tiered kings. And so we're going to continue this discussion, guys, on this. But Jason, I think this was good, brother. Very good, very to the point, very fruitful. And I pray, guys, it actually add value. You want to say anything else, Jason, before we exit out, big dog?
No, man, I just would like to come back next week.
Uh-oh. He's cut down. Oh, here we go. There he is. Jason, you there? Yeah, you cutting out really bad. But yeah, guys, man, and thank you guys for your time. I think this was we kind of went a little bit technical here, which is not a bad thing. Where we kind of leaned in to kind of unpack those foundational words such as church and kingdom and religion. And I will end it with this here. I know Jason is a traveler right now. So the Bible is about this here. It's about this here. And I'll end it with this, guys. The Bible is about a king, his kingdom, and his royal children. That's it. Keep it real simple. So it is imperative for us to continue to lean in and begin to understand the concept as well as the structure and the functionality of how kingdoms work. Because Matthew 6:33, Christ said, "But seek first the kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you." So here's the key. If you seek first the kingdom and his righteousness, you'll watch the king do all the adding with no effort from you, because your effort is not in the adding. It's in seeking the kingdom and the king's righteousness. That's where the effort is located at. So, guys, I pray this is wonderful for you. Thank you so much for the time. God bless you. And we see you next Sunday for the Bible Talk Chop session. Holler at your partner and take that picture.